Hi, I'm Dr. Blum, and I am an associate professor within the College of Nursing. And I've been there for almost 20 years now. Prior to being an online instructor, I really started my journey as a student here. And I took online courses where I learned an awful lot about what works and what doesn't work from a student point of view. I've since taught in eCollege, Blackboard, and now Canvas, which I'm really very enthusiastic about. And I was in the first group of Canvas, so therefore I got a lot of instruction there as we were all learning it together. I teach online full-time, but I also teach live courses where I'll use it as a hybrid so that I'll have discussion boards to go with the course. Or for a live course for just organization of materials, supplemental instruction, and a great place to keep grades so students can see them regularly and refer to them regularly. The move to Canvas has been a really strong move for us, and Canvas has been a tremendous support system. And one thing I've learned is to call them 24/7, and they are there, they're very patient, they'll stay on the phone with you while you do your courses, and that's been really helpful. But as well as the Center for eLearning, that has helped me to set up my courses, helped me to set up supplemental materials, and has been very flexible as well for using the different campuses to do the work that I need to do. When I was taking classes, like I said, I learned what did work and what didn't work. And one of the things that I learned would have helped would to have smaller groups. Instead of having one large class, to have smaller groups that could work together and get to know students, and therefore the conversation really becomes better centered around experiences that we're all having. I think it's really important to have frequent visibility of the faculty within the course, both for adding comments, discussion, being available for meeting with students and talking to students. I have an online office as well as taking phone calls or meeting students, in the campus office, whatever works best for students. One thing that I've learned is the quicker that you respond to students, the better they do. The less you're spending time trying to straighten out difficulties, but instead getting them on track from the beginning. In the last module of a completely online course, one of the things I do is ask students what worked for you and what didn't work. And I do that because while we get information from the spot evaluations, the spots don't come out until the beginning of the next semester. So I want to do things in real time, changing the course, straightening things out so that it's ready to roll the next semester and nothing gets lost along the way. And I find that students like being asked. One of the things I learned previously in one of the courses I teach is that my students were working. They were nurses that were coming back to get a bachelor's, and 1-week modules just didn't work for them. So I had to keep the content the same, leave as much of the content that was there, but just disperse it differently. So 2-week modules worked around those schedules that include weekends and evenings and holidays. Another thing that I've learned to do is to really personalize the course objectives. While those are preset by the faculty for any given course, that doesn't mean you can't make it relevant to the student on a more personal level. Tell them what kinds of things you're going to teach them, how you're going to get there, let them see how they're going to be evaluated to make sure that they know it, and really why it's important to their profession. And the other thing that I would really recommend is using the calendar function extensively. I use the calendar for my course itself to keep students on track, to tell them both when a module starts and when it ends, when a discussion board, while the gradebook will show them when the gradebook is actually recording something, and it'll have one final date for that discussion board. There's several spots in between where they need to do an initial post and peer responses. So I find the calendar, I can put all those kind of details and keep them on track a lot better with it. The calendar also keeps them online with when the deadlines are, if they should feel they need to drop a course or signing up for new courses, lets them know when to anticipate holidays and how holidays will impact that online course schedule, and then tells them what things are going on in the university as a whole if you choose to include those items. In the future, I'd really like to see that calendar extended beyond the College of Nursing. Right now, we have it set up so that students self-enroll into the calendar, and it's actually set up as a separate course that then populates into their calendar. But I'd like to see the university do it for all students so that they can see what are those deadlines. They don't need to toggle between different calendars, such as the ones that are online now, that are for due dates and administrative and registrations type items, but to instead have that embedded within their Canvas course calendar. One of the other things that I would like to try to do in the future is to learn as many social media different types of opportunities that are out there and how to use them in my courses. For a new adjunct instructor or any instructor that's coming in and learning to teach in Canvas, I would encourage them to one, see if they can enroll within a class, be a student in a class, see what it looks like from that student perspective to get that feel of how to navigate Canvas. But in addition, I would tell them to use their resources. We have a tremendous amount of online resources out there. We have the master online teachers who should be a resource within each of the colleges, as well as the Center for eLearning, and again, Canvas, who is available 24/7. So there's a lot of opportunity there to really refine your courses and make them as student-friendly as possible. I think one of the things that the FAU Leadership can do to support the adjunct instructors is to make them aware of all the resources that are available. One of the things that we've done in the College of Nursing is, as the master online teacher, I developed it's a course actually that is for the nursing faculty. Any of the nursing faculty can use. And while Canvas has great support systems and many, many resources to read through, it's rather cumbersome and large and a tremendous volume. So I've narrowed it down to the things that we're dealing with the most, that are more specific to our college, so that everyone has a place to look at and see those common answers. And if somebody emails me or asks me, I can refer them to that while I talk them through it, so they have pictures to show them exactly how to navigate through those courses. I also think it's really important that just as our faculty need to listen to our students and know what struggles they're having and how we can best support them, we also need our administrators and leadership to listen to our faculty and find out what the faculty is dealing with, what their issues are, to be able to deal with things very quickly in real time to help to make these courses much stronger and much smoother. When I think about my vision for distance learning, I think that it's really important that each faculty has their own style and their own personality, and that needs to shine through within the course. Students need to be able to see what that faculty can offer to them. But at the same time, for students, it's very difficult to go from one faculty to another and to navigate each different course that's set up differently. So wherever we can, if we can have things like, the same order of things such as, announcements and modules and discussion boards and how to access them, if we can give students some type of repetition of where to find things, but at the same time allow that faculty to shine through with what they do best. Again, I can't help but tout the use of the calendar. I do think that the university calendar as a whole would be very helpful, would help keep students on track, because we want to encourage them to use that calendar for their courses, and for course content and when it's due. So if we use it there, if we at the same time include university events, certainly not everything, but the things that are most important to them in terms of when to sign up for courses and when payments are due and perhaps when to drop in the holidays. So I'd love to see, while we have the College of Nursing one now, I'd love to see that to be a university-wide initiative. Our college introducing our philosophy of caring is very important to our courses. So we have in that site different ways that different people have introduced caring in their courses, different nursing situations, and I'm sure that each of the colleges has specific things that they'd like to see available beyond what Canvas does as a whole. And then the other thing would be the standard navigation screens, just to make it easier for students to be able to follow it. If we had something that, again, I think faculty needs to be a part of creating that, to make those navigation screens standard for students with any given college or within the university as a whole. And then students would know exactly, the order of things, where to look for things, and how to best navigate the courses. E-learning really addresses today's students. It's how many of them have learned throughout their K-12 experience. They've even had, many of them have been on Canvas before, and so they're used to that. It's actually harder for the faculty to use that learning curve to help to catch up with our students. But it allows them to navigate courses from anywhere, from their phones, from their computer, their laptop, when they're traveling or when they're at work or wherever they have time to then enter that course. So it helps to work around student schedules, certainly faculty schedules as well, and it helps us to have that more one-on-one experience with the student, within that online, the e-learning modules. Another great thing about e-learning is that it's such a great place to be able to house as many materials as possible. If we have online textbooks that we can use, we can upload them there. We can send people to different websites and use different resources. And it's easily housed there, and students can follow their own progress. They know how they're doing, they know what areas they need to work on, and they can access their faculty and see the visibility of the faculty as often as that faculty chooses to be involved. So I think that e-learning is really not just the wave of the future, it's where we are now that we just need to expand upon and make it as strong as possible.